Hello, this is Lori from Morgan County Public Library, and thank you for joining me for Beginners Yoga. You will need a mat or something that you can lay on, maybe a blanket or something on the floor, comfortable clothes, and a willingness to try. That being said, remember that if something hurts, you should stop. And if you have medical conditions, you should always ask your doctor first before you start an exercise program. This program, Beginners Yoga, we are going to do poses that are easier, not necessarily easy, but easier, and talk about what yoga is and what it's for. So let's start right there. What is yoga? Yoga means union. And one of the things that we are joining when we do yoga is our breath to our body moves when we're exercising, when we're doing the pose. Poses are meant to help your body become more energized and able to perform feats such as sitting for a long time while you meditate. And meditation is part of yoga. So is the breathing, and so are the postures. We put all those things together, plus ways of behaving and ways of attention in order to do yoga. When we do beginners yoga, we're going to be working on the beginning breathing exercises. And one of the things that people do a lot and are not even aware of it is they have shallow breathing. They don't do a deep belly breath. So the first thing we're going to learn is how to breathe correctly and to breathe while we're exercising or doing our poses. So you're going to take in a long, slow inhale, and you're going to fill up your lungs. Your diaphragm pushes down and your belly comes out a little bit. And you'll hold it for a couple of seconds, and then you'll let it out in a slow exhale through your nose. And then you wait a couple of seconds before you start the next inhale. And if we just focus on that while we are sitting, or however, whatever posture you assume, and you're just focusing on your breathing, that's a breathing meditation. And so at the beginning of this program, I usually invite you to breathe with me, to sit and to breathe. And so the sitting postures, right now I'm doing an easy sitting posture, but let me explain it. So you can do crisscross like this, a normal way that a lot of kids will sit. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my leg and bringing my heel as close to my groin as I can. And then I bring the next heel right alongside it. Got cat hair on me. And then the hand, you want to make sure that your back is straight, your shoulders are down. And one way that you can make sure that your shoulders are down is do a shoulder shrug, come down, and feel your shoulder blades pinned to your back. All right, and keep your shoulders down. And then usually when we're sitting, we're also engaging our belly somewhat. We're pulling in our belly button. So we're tall, we got our shoulders down and broad. Our head is right underneath or right over, floating right over our collarbones. And it's like a line going down, all the way down. This is our spine and our head, and it's our central nervous system. We want it to be straight. Okay. And so go ahead and close your eyes and join me as we do some breathing. And let's focus on the breathing. So we can focus on the way the air feels as it's filling our lungs and how it feels as it's leaving. But you want to keep your attention there on your breath. You will probably have your mind wander. That's pretty normal. Don't worry about it. Just tell yourself thinking and come back to the breath. And this is a sitting meditation. So let's do this for a couple of minutes here. Just breathing in and breathing out and paying attention to our breath. All right. Now, how did that feel? Was it hard to pay attention to your breath? Were you able to do it okay? Because my attention wandered a couple of times, and I've been doing this for a while. And that's really, really very normal. Don't be down on yourself. Don't think I'm not meditating. This isn't working. You are. When you catch it and then bring yourself back, that's part of the process. Don't be discouraged. And we do poses, we do the asanas because we are trying to clear our body of tension. So, you might have heard of the word chakras or energy centers, and they're usually along your spine. And they're usually where you have glands. So there's one in your head, it's the pituitary gland, and then there's your throat chakra, which is your thyroid, And then, of course, there's a huge, right here at the heart center, we have the heart. That's not necessarily a gland, but it's a very important organ for life. And then, of course, there's the reproductive glands, with, down here. So these are all energized by doing the poses and the breathing. And as we continue to do the poses, we get better and better at concentrating on what we are doing, which helps with meditation. And all of this is for meditation, because that's what yoga is pretty much about, is aligning your body, getting it cleaned up, your energy centers, having focus, and then practicing meditation. So, but there are lots of other benefits if you don't want to do the meditation. Holding the poses will increase your strength. For me, it's helped me become stronger, and it's also helped my bones. So I had osteopenia, very close to osteoporosis, and it's completely reversed. So it's just because I've been using my own weight, which is what yoga poses do. They use your own weight. You use your own weight when you're doing the postures to increase your strength and your stamina. So let's get started with some poses. You're going to get into a tabletop position, and you want your back to be flat. You want your knees right under your hips and your wrists right under your shoulders. And turn your toes in and straighten your legs, bringing your butt up to the ceiling. If you can, come back onto your heels. You don't have to. If you can't, you can just bend your knees if your hamstrings are tight. And then you're going to have your head between your arms, and you're pushing back. This is downward facing dog, and it's a very beneficial pose. It helps strengthen your core. It helps strengthen your legs and stretch the leg muscles. It also helps build strength in your shoulders and arms. So I'm going to hold this pose for a few moments, say 4 breaths. Come join. Good. Come back down. Walk your hands up to the front of your mat. Kick your legs out behind you and keep your body straight as much as you can. This is plank. It's a very good core strengthening exercise. Um, keep your head straight and breathe. Make sure you're pulling your belly button in to engage your core. And to focus on your breathing. Come down on your knees and sink onto your heels. Lower your head to the ground, keeping your arms out in front of you. This is child. It's an inversion. It's an introspective pose. It's a resting pose. So let's rest for a few breaths here. Go. Very good. Let's get on our. Well, you can't see me. I have to keep watching, looking at this to make sure. So let me move this back some. There. It's better, but move this back. Okay. So let's do mountain. Mountain is a pose that seems very simple, but it's not as simple as it seems. So first, let's just take our feet a couple of inches apart, width apart, and you want to spread out your toes and just place them on the mat and feel your whole foot on the mat. You might rock around. Feel your weight on your feet. And then you want to bring your kneecaps up. So you're engaging the leg muscles. You're also pulling in your belly button towards your spine to engage your core. You have your shoulders down. So if you need to rotate and bring your shoulders down and pin those shoulder blades to your back. Keep your chest broad. And then your hands are out to the side. This is mounted. So let's stay here for 4 or 5 breaths. From there, put your leg on your calf to start out. If you haven't done this before, we're doing tree. Put your leg on your calf. You can put it higher, closer to your groin. Put your arms overhead, palms facing, touching. You stare at a spot about 3 or 4 feet in front of you. Keep your balance. You're still engaging your core, so you're still pulling in your belly button. Breathe. And we also do the other side, because when we do the poses, we do the right side and then the left side. All right. Well, I want to talk a few more minutes and then we can do some Savasana, which is also a really relaxing way to end. But this kind of yoga is traditional. It's slow, meditative. You focus on your breath. You hold the poses for a set amount of time before you go on to the next. There are other types of yoga. A lot have been invented since it's come to America. You know, you have your hot yoga, which is doing a set number of poses twice, I think, in a hot room, and you're sweating. And I wouldn't recommend that as a beginning practice, though, because the poses are pretty hard, and I think it's hard to be in a hot room. it's I don't know, but there's some people who really love that, and that's fine. And then there's vinyasa, which is more flowing and going from pose to pose. You're not holding them very long. You're going right to the next pose, and then the next pose, and the next pose. And the thing is that I like the traditional yoga, the one that's close to 5,000 years old, or yeah, it's been around for a long time. And it builds, I think when you hold the pose, you're building strength. So I like that. But there are a lot of different other kinds of yoga. And like I said, the whole purpose of all of this is to get your body used to being able to sit for a long period of time while you're meditating. Yogis would sit for hours in meditation and not feel discomfort. So that was one of the reasons why they did the asanas, was just so that they could sit and not feel discomfort. And meditation is very beneficial. I mean, just Google it. You know, what are the benefits of meditation? If you do it enough, some people reach enlightenment, which is maybe a spiritual experience or just a realization, if you want to put it that way. If you're uncomfortable with the spiritual, it's just, you know, seeing what is, seeing reality for what it is, and knowing your place within it. And that kind of a mindset is hard to reach and hard to keep. So even if you reach it once, you might not stay there very long, and you'd have to keep on meditating to get back. Eventually, though, the goal is to stay in that state of realization or enlightenment. And so that's something to work towards, don't you think? That's a big goal. In the meantime, just being healthier and learning how to regulate your stress and calm yourself down and become stronger, I think those are worthy goals in themselves. So since I spent so much time talking about yoga today, we didn't do very many poses, but the poses we did are very good ones for beginners. You could just practice those poses and then do Savasana or a corpse pose and feel like you've done enough. So in Savasana, we are laying on our back and your feet are splayed out. So your legs are rotated out. You're on your back, and your arms are beside you, palms up. This helps keep your shoulders wide. your chest wide open. And so feel where your body is on the floor. Feel where your body is touching the floor. Feel your pelvis on the floor, your heels, shoulder blades, your head. Feel yourself sinking into the floor. Relax your face. Just soften your face. And soften your eyes. Soften your throat. And just stay here for a while and breathe. Stay there as long as you need to. That's a good way to release a lot of tension. Thank you for joining. And I will see you next week.